Okay, so we're going to find some properties of the quadratic. This is where all that factoring is going to come in that we practiced before this. So if you're still unsure about factoring, now is a really good time to ask. So we're going to find the zeros from the quadratic, not from the graph, but right from the equation. So we need to put this into factored form, and I can see that it is a simple trinomial. So I know that simple trinomials have to add to -7 and multiply to +12. So I'm going to put in here -3 and -4. So all that factoring we did before is really, really important. So where are the zeros? The zeros come from when the y value is equal to 0. We know that on the x-axis, all those points along the x-axis, the y value is 0. So if y is 0, we want to know what is x to make that happen. So I'm going to take my first bracket and set it equal to 0. So we're saying when y is 0, what is x? So I can see that x will be 3, and that's going to be the point 3, 0 on my graph. Next, we're going to take the second one, and same thing. If y is 0, what would this x be? So I'm going to move that 4 over, and I get a point of 4, 0. So I have two zeros on my x-axis, one at +3 and one at +4. Next, I want to find the vertex, and so what you would have saw the last couple days is that the vertex is exactly in the middle of these 2 points. So if I find the x-coordinate of the vertex, that's what the little v is, I'm going to take my 2 zeros, add them together, and divide by 2 to find the middle. And I'm going to get 3.5. Okay? So that's the middle x value. Now I need to find the y value. So I'm going to take this this x value, and I'm going to find my y value by plugging it in to this equation I see up top. So 3.5 minus 3, and then 3.5 again, minus 4, and I'm going to go ahead and solve. So I get 0.5 here, minus 4, and negative 0.5 there, and multiply those together, I get negative 0.25. So my vertex is going to be at 3.5 from the x and negative 0.25 from the y. Okay, not always going to be decimals. Sometimes it will be some nice round numbers there. But now we can go and find some other things. The axis of symmetry is directly in the middle of these two zeros, and we just found the middle, which is 3.5. Remember, axis of symmetry is a vertical line, so it starts x equals, and we'll have 3.5 here, just like that. So the work is done when you're looking for zeros and vertex. Everything else falls out after that. The optimal value is the y-coordinate of the vertex, so negative 0.25. That's the lowest it's going to go. The y-intercept, if we look way up back up to the top, y-intercept is when x equals 0. So if I look up here to this equation and I plug zeros in for the x's, I end up with my positive 12 left over at the end. 0 squared minus 7 times 0 plus 12. So my y-intercept is going to be at when x is 0, y is 12. So that comes right out of the original equation. Now it's asking for a sketch, so I'm going to put all this information on. It's a sketch, not a graph, so just be really careful. So I'm going to put on my zeros. I'm going to call this one, we'll say this one is at 3, and we'll say this one is at 4. I'm going to put on my vertex. It's going to be at 3.5, so right in the middle, and then down a tiny little bit. So there's my vertex, and then my y-intercept is at all the way up here at the 12, and you're just going to connect the dots. So maybe I'll use green here. So I'm going to go from my vertex up to the right, and from my vertex up to the left. And there's a sketch of my parabola. Not very pretty, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's the first one done. Let's take a look at this second one. So this one I gave you is a complex trinomial. So I know it's complex because there's no common factor. 4, 12, and 9, there's nothing common to take out. So I know I have to factor using my complex trinomial method. And just zoom in here. So we have y I don't want to use that color. Y equals 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. I know I need to add to 12 and multiply to not 9. Remember, we have to draw the bridge. 4 times 9, which is 36. So add to 12 and multiply to 36. So we're going to say, what two numbers do that? 3 and 12, no. 2 and 18, no. 4 and 9, no. 6 and 6. Okay, so we have 6 times 6 here and 6 plus 6. So remembering how we factor, we're going to write the first one, and we're going to plug in plus 6x plus 6x. This is why all that factoring we did before was really important. I'm going to factor out a 2x from the first two. I'm going to factor a 3 out from the last two. And I notice my brackets are the same, which is good. I'm going to bring that bracket forward and the leftovers in the back. And you'll notice it's the same bracket, so you can write it squared if you like, because we are just going to go and get our zeros. So when y is 0, x, what is x? And what's the point of doing that twice when this bracket is the exact same? So this is going to be negative 3, right? Solving for x, move the 3 to the left and divide out the 2. So there's my only 0 actually, at 3 over 2 and 0. And I'm saying only because I'm not going to do this one and that one and get a different number. It's going to be the same. So that's my only 0. Okay, so now when I come down here to my vertex and I only have 1 0, well, guess what? The vertex is going to be the exact same thing in this case as the 0. If you only have 1 0, your parabola must be opening like this or opening like that with your vertex right on the x-axis. Okay, let's take a look at the next thing here. We have axis of symmetry. So it's going right down through the middle through the vertex. So the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals, because it's a vertical line, and it's going to be negative 3 over 2. The optimal value is 0. That's the y-coordinate of the vertex. And what's the y-intercept? Not the same thing as the optimal value. I want to look back up to my original equation, and I'm going to plug in zeros for the x's this time. So if I say y equals 4 times 0 squared plus 12 times 0 plus 9, take a look what happens. This is going to go to 0, that's going to go to 0, and we'll be left with the 9 only. So when x is 0, y is 9. So let's put all of that information onto our little sketch here. So since it's a sketch and not a graph, I can put my points anywhere I want. So, well, as long as they're somewhat proportional, right? So down here, I'm going to put negative 3.5, negative 1.5. That's where my vertex is. And I have my y-intercept, which is I'm going to put right there at 9. So now I can see that my graph is going to open up to pass through that y-intercept, just like that. So that's what my graph looks like. If we didn't have our y-intercept, if I didn't ask you for it, we would look up here to our equation if we want to find out what the direction of opening is. So take a look here, direction of opening. We're going to look at the a value. We're going to look at the a right in front. And if the a is positive, it's going to open up, and if it's negative, it's going to open down. So when we're talking about the a value, when it's positive, just scoot down here a second. When a is positive, the graph's going to open up, and when a is negative, the graph will open down. It'll be sad. Okay? So my last example I want to do with you is down here. Okay, and this one is a little bit different. We're already starting in factored form, and this question is asking for us to go into standard form. So we also want direction of opening, so we'll talk about that a value again, and then the y-intercept. So to get into standard form, remember factoring is the opposite of expanding. So we're in factored form now, so we're going to expand. I'm going to go x times x to get x squared, and then x times negative 2, and then 12 times x, and then 12 times negative 2. And then putting those two middle terms together, we end up with x squared plus 10x plus, oops, not plus, minus 24. Okay, so now it's in standard form. Direction of opening. So look at the A value. We want to take a look. The A value is going to be right in front. And right here we have nothing, so it's a positive 1. So direction of opening is going to be up. And we'll say y since A equals positive 1. What is the y-intercept? So if I go and plug zeros in to my equation, my original equation or the one that is expanded, your choice. If I go and plug zeros in here, 0 minus 2, what's my y-intercept going to be? I'm going to get 12 times negative 2, so it's going to be negative 24. Oh, well look at that. Right here when it's in my standard form, I have negative 24 right on the end. So my y-intercept is going to be x for 0 and negative 24 for y. So that's how we solve that one. So that is our 3 examples for today. I have 3 for practice. One of them is a simple trinomial, but take out the common factor first. And the second one is a difference of squares. So remember how to factor those. And then follow all the same steps that I did for each of those up top. And then there's one example like the one we just did where we have to put into standard and find the y-intercept. Okay? Hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy!